Hello my friends, welcome back to Home and Garden. Today I am going to show you this beautiful azalea. I have also some tips on how to care and propagate them. So let's go and check them out.
Azalea is a deciduous or evergreen shrub. The mature size is from 3 to 20 feet tall and wide. They like to be planted on light, well-drained soil. They bloom in early spring to summer. My azalea bloom from the ground till the top of the shrub. There's different flower color of azalea. You see them in white, pink, red, orange, and peach.
I add azalea together with all my primrose. So the primrose are my borders, and this azalea, they're not really doing good. They didn't bloom at this time, but you can see there's a lot of buds already. And this azalea is still bloom. I will update you once I have all the flowers, and I'm so excited to show it to you. All of that on the center are the buds. That's the flower buds. So what I did here is adding all the azalea together with the primrose, and I add them around on this side. I trim this rhodin here because they are too tall, and I want to start them and have a new shoots, but at this time they're not really giving me a lot of shoots, but you can see they are surviving because I trimmed them last year. But you have to be patiently wait for them to give you a full bloom, and it takes a while. So here's the other azalea that I moved from the shaded area, and even this one, this is also a double bloom, and hopefully by next week they should start blooming. So some of the azalea that I have in here, either I move them from the other side of my garden because they're not doing good, or I propagate them. I divide, and also this particular azalea, the baby one, the small one in this side, I actually got it from the azalea from my front yard. So what you can do to have more azalea is to propagate them by dividing, and some of the azalea that I have it on my front yard, they're already big, and it's going to be too hard for me to divide it because the roots are already very stable. They are not going to be easily divided, and I don't want to do that because I know it's going to be hard. So the way that I did, some of the azalea, if you go underneath the mother plant, they will have some baby shoots like this. And then what you can do is just pull. As long as you have enough roots, they will be okay and they will survive. So like this side here, that's why I'm so happy, because they survive, and I can see already the tiny buds that I have there. That's the flower buds. So like this one, it's very tiny because I just got it from the mother plant in my front yard, and I just pull it. If I can see it and it's easily to pull, you can transplant them, have a new azalea, and move it the other side of your garden. So this particular azalea, you can see it's gonna be pink flower, pinkish or maybe purplish. So I divide this, and I got it from the side of my house. They have some tiny shoots, and this might be about 2 years already, and I just plant on this side together with the other Azalea, and they're doing good. This is the double bloom, and this one single bloom. So on this side you cannot see the Azalea that I plant. I just actually propagate them last year together with the roses. I add lilies, the Asiatic lilies as well, in between. So what I did is alternate the roses on this side, the Asiatic oriental lily, and that tiny plant in between the roses and the lilies are the Azalea. So let's see them up close so you can see it and how they're doing. So here are the up close view for the Azalea that I moved it last year. So I have the roses, the tall one are the roses. I add also this oriental lily, and they're actually white flower. I'm so excited because I never put a lily on this side of my backyard, and I am so excited to see them with my roses, because the roses that I add in here, they are also white bloom. So going back to my Azalea, this is also a propagated one that I moved from last year. I got it from the mother plant in my front yard. You'll see it later how big is my mother plant. This is actually giving that new flower bud. This is still a tiny plant here. That's also Azalea. So I have the rose in here, more Azalea, rose, another Azalea. So I alternate the 3 plants, Azalea, roses, and the Asiatic oriental lily. And again, I just planted this lily about like February, and they're doing good. This is another Azalea that I got it, propagated last year, and they are doing good. They like it on this side. They're receiving part sun, at least 6 hours full sun, and they'll be okay. So here, to continue this, it's more Azalea here on this side, over here, and one more on that side. My roses, climbing roses, are doing good in here. I will update you soon because I am too excited to see them and show you all the spots when they start blooming. So I'm just giving you a little update on the Azalea, the double or triple bloom that I have, and this I have a separate video on how to plant them and also put them on transplanting them on the other bigger pot. So we're doing perfect on this side, and I have them purchased them about like mid-March, and now it's already first week of May, and they're still keeping their bloom. There's the other one on that side. I want to keep them like this, but I know they start to drying now, so I can see some of them. They're already dry. So I am going to put them on the ground once all of this bloom are gone. Okay, so this is another azalea from the side of my house, and this one, it's not really receiving a lot of sun, but they are doing good. They give me a lot of blooms as well. This one is about 4 feet tall, and I just keep the height just to cover this electric meter in here and some of the water meter, and so it's not really showing because it looks ugly. So here is the one that's blocking that view. Let me show you all these tiny buds. This is also a light pink single bloom. Right now they're not in bloom. Also, as I mentioned a while ago, the way that you are going to propagate them and get more azalea to plant it in your yard. So what I am doing is checking underneath the mother plant. So like this one here, it's separated. I'll try to show it to you how I'm doing. So this one, it's actually connected to that big branch. Okay, so this is the way that I get more azalea. So you have to check the mother plant and check if they have like shoots underneath. This one and the bottom is not really blooming. It's not going to bloom, so you can, instead of cutting them, you can try to propagate them. So let's see if we can do a success one with this particular baby azalea. So as long as you have roots, even because the roots, it's not really hard or stable yet, there's some part of this azalea that have a shallow roots, and I think I need scissors to cut this. Okay, so let's continue to get this baby azalea here. This one, we can take it to and check this out. This is going to be another plant that we can transfer on the other side of my garden. Okay, let's get the remaining on this side. Yes, this is the nice one as well. So we got 2. Let's check this other one. This one, they have a little thicker branch or roots, and we'll try if we can get some roots of it. Okay, that's not enough roots, but I think this will survive. You see that tiny, it's like a hair roots over here. That should be fine. So we got 3, and this one, this is the way that I propagate them. That's why you've seen the baby azalea, I have it on the backyard, and this is how I do and propagate them. We don't have to buy a lot of azalea, they are expensive anyways. And this one, you'll have a light pink color, and do this technique and you'll love it. Okay, my friend, going to my front yard. This is the upper side of my front yard, and I'll show you from here. This is also a azalea bush. This is the same as the one on the back. They are light pink single bloom, and I do trim them a round one, so it will also cover some of the stuff that I don't want you to see. And this is the this is about 4 feet as well, so I got some propagation underneath too, and all of this like a border in here. This is also Azalea, so they are still with their flower buds, and all of this are my Azalea. I did use them as a border, and this side till here are double blooms. So I use them as a border. I have some baby one in here that I planted. Actually, I moved this and I don't see any bloom on this one yet. I think this side is not a good one for this azalea, but I'm just gonna give time. I can see some tiny flower buds here, and let's see if they're doing okay. Maybe I can add some fertilizer. And here's another one. This is a very beautiful azalea. You can see they are giving me a lot of tiny blooms compared to the light pink that I showed you in the backyard. This is a smaller flower. It might be like an inch only, but look how beautiful the blooms. You can barely see the leaves because all the way in the bottom are blooms. I also got some propagation on this plant. They are planted next to my Japanese maple, and look at that contrast. Isn't it that beautiful? So I did like trim them, or use as a like a Japanese style garden thing, just to match with my Japanese maple, and cut them like a round one. This one looks like, I don't know, a bee? Maybe not. So here's the connected one. This is two separate azalea, but now they are connected because they grow, and usually I trim them at least once a year, because for you to have a lot of bloom for your next year, after they're done blooming, you have to trim them. Sometimes you don't want to do it because you still want to keep the bloom until they all like dried up, but just to be safe, if you can still see some of the bloom that drying already, you have to start trimming them for you to have a good and plenty flowers for the following year. Okay, this is already the front yard, and from the street you can see this beautiful white and pink combination azalea. This is also an evergreen, and they have full bloom right now. I love the pink on this white flower. The side of the flowers, they have pinkish or purplish color. If you see them far, it looks like they're only just white bloom, but when you get up close, oh my goodness, look at that. So this particular azalea, they are planted in the front yard, and they don't receive a lot of sunlight because I have pine trees, 2 pine trees on this side, and even though they are planted on shaded area, they're still doing good. The blooms are from the top till the bottom. didn't try to propagate this particular azalea, but I think I might get some on this side. And look at that foliage, they are healthy. I do have another azalea. I actually put another one on this side, but this one is planted underneath this Japanese maple. Let's see if they have some flower buds, and it looks like there's a lot. This is also the tiny bloom azalea, and I believe this is the pink one. But they don't really bloom together with this white azalea on this side. I just planted them maybe like about 3 years ago, and I think they're doing good. It's just they don't really bloom at the same time. So this is the bush azalea that I showed it to you a while ago. There's one here. That's actually all my rhodie. And then there's another one here. So I will update you soon once I've seen all the blooms. So that's another one. And that's the other pink azalea. This is another azalea. This is actually a white bloom, and they are big compared to the first azalea that I showed to you. They're about half or an inch size. This one is double, and also they are double bloom, and they do have scent. They smell so good. If you smell the jasmine plant, and that's how the smell of this azalea. And look, it's just for the buds. That's the flower buds. You would expect a double bloom, and they are so pretty. So this one, this is about 4.5 to 5 feet. So I have that two azalea on that side. This is going to the front, like at the street side. This is a border azalea. This is in the middle front yard. This is the double bloom scented white azalea. And I am again too excited, my friends, to show this to you because I can already see them. Look at that massive bloom, or massive buds. It's all the way from the top till the bottom. I love it. So here's more azalea. This one, I have two. This is the first one, second one. And I have some hellebores, and this Japanese, I think this is like a pine tree. I don't know the name, but I love it. They don't really grow that big, but we keep them because the garden looks like a Japanese style. They are so beautiful. And then once you've seen all this azalea bloom, they highlight this tree. And actually I might add some light in here, just the solar light, and let's see how they look like during that night. This is again another azalea bush. There are also single bloom white one is in here. This is a double azalea. This is the pink one, same as that, and this is also a different azalea. This one bloom, I think it's like white. So this particular azalea here, there is an issue last year because I think when I tried to propagate and get some baby plant into this mother azalea, I might cut some of the branches. So this is what happened. I'm not really sure if that's the reason, but there is some part of it because this is already old. This one, it's already dead. It's already dry, and you don't see any new shoots in here because they're already dead. There's another one here and over here. I have to remove all of these dead branches so that they will have enough space to grow for the new shoots, and we have to make them neat anyway. Okay, this is my driveway now. I have another video of all my hellebores, which is I will add it to the description box and add the link of the separated blog that I made for the hellebores or Lenten rose. But here, this big bush here, it's not just a regular bush because that is the azalea, and they bloom, double bloom, and they're white. You see how big they are? They're actually bigger than this rhodie. This is just one plant, but they become massive, which is a good thing. It means they like on this area. They receive like about 6 hours of sun. And look, if you go around the plant, you'll see all these flower buds. And they're also scented. They're double bloom, white. They're really, really like pure white. I'm so excited to show you and make another video so you can see all of this beautiful azalea that I have on my garden. I also tried to propagate some of them and cut the babies, or you can see underneath. There's a lot of babies that we can propagate. I never tried the cutting yet. I don't have any successful rate on that, so I just continue what I'm doing. Just propagate them by dividing. And look at the center of this plant. I believe this is the pink one. So there might be two separate plants in here. So on this side, these two azalea here, when they bloom, they are actually so pretty because I have the borders that I put with this white, or I'm sorry, with this pinkish color. And that's the color of the azalea flower. And they match with that plant. And they're so beautiful when they're both bloomed. Okay, remember this 3 babies that we just got it from the mother plant? I am going to add them on the backyard because this side there's only one tiny azalea and I want to add and make it more bushy. So I'm just going to show you how to plant it. You can also put it on the pot and they should be okay, and they also bright. So this one, look at the roots. There. There's no particular fertilizer. Well, I'm not going to put fertilizer at this time. I just want to give them enough time to adjust on this side. And later on, when they're mature, then I can add the fertilizer. So anyways, this soil anyway is all compost, so they'll be fine. So you just need to push a little bit to remove the air socket, and look, from single plant to more baby plant next to it. I hope you will apply all the tips on how to care and propagate azalea, and you'll continue to collect plants like this. Thank you so much for watching my blog for today, and I'll see you soon.